Cribrum is a software development company founded in the last couple of years, and we were built on the premise that software applications should be able to be built faster and delivered a lot more quickly than they are. This would lead to less expense, or don't like to use the word cheap, but certainly cost people a lot less. We are a startup company, but we have a lot of years in healthcare. Our most recent project, the three directors, have come out of Telstra Health, and we were responsible for the build of the National Cancer Screening Register for Australia, one of the largest population health screening registers in the world at the time. So what did we do? As I mentioned, software development, especially custom software development, is expensive. Because of this expense, or the development skills are expensive, the development times are long, customers, we find, are reluctant to experiment, to try new things. Because if you're waiting 2 years for a feature to be implemented into your product, or being told that it's going to be on the development pathway, and I've been in the software vendor industry, so I've used those words myself, you're less likely to experiment. You also spend a large amount of time defining requirements because you want to get it right. You have to get it right. It's costing you time, it's costing you money. But what if we could turn that paradigm on its head and say, let's give you an environment, a low code or no code environment where you can rapidly develop your own applications or get a partner to do those for you, but to basically build on the agile framework. You know, the agile software developers like to turn things around in their sprints every 2 weeks. What if the framework would actually support that as well? So we looked at what was out there and considered a few options. For all of the reasons that you've seen today, we like the InterSystems Iris data platform. Scalability, performance, interoperability. We have a lot of experience with Iris. As I said, we used it, well, I didn't mention, for the National Cancer Screening Register. It was an integral part of the integration to all the 98% of the pathology labs in Australia are integrated electronically through the InterSystems product. Our team has vast experience with InterSystems. I have to mention, I'm at pains to mention this, for one of our directors, has been working with InterSystems since the 1980s. And he keeps going on about something about mumps that I don't understand, but he said that I'd get some nods of recognition from the audience. So we've been with InterSystems, director's been with them for a long time. So we understand that product. We like their international reach. We love the performance of it as a back end. One of the things that we didn't quite like, and I'm sorry to say, is the front end development engine. It didn't meet the standard, what we were looking for a low code customer developed front end. We liked Microsoft Power Apps. The Microsoft platform is ubiquitous in most organizations. Most organizations already have a license, though they don't know it, to Power Apps. Yes, you can see it's come from Microsoft Access. You can see its heritage and its lineage there, but it does have a nice drag and drop user interface. We chose these two, and you can see the bridge in the middle. Unfortunately, Microsoft Power Apps, their ecosystem, doesn't play very nicely with InterSystems in the back end. It is not part of what Microsoft refers to as their Dataverse. You would expect Microsoft SQL is part of the Dataverse, but you get other databases, MySQL, Maria, Oracle, all part of the Dataverse. Unfortunately, our preferred back end was not there. So what we needed to do was develop our own integration between the Power Apps front end and the Iris back end. We did this in such a way that it gives us the drag and drop functionality of Power Apps, low code. They like to say no code, but we'll see code in there. and the speed and reliability of Iris in the back end. Our integration is standards-based. We approach this with the idea it must conform to standards and it must be secure. We're dealing with health data. So we've used standard API calls that conform to the API standards. If you had a look at them and you saw our API calls, you would say, hey, that looks pretty close to FHIR. Yes, we've based it on the FHIR standards, all our API calls. They provide the full create, read, update, delete functionality, in addition to some specialized searching and data retrieval functionalities. As I mentioned, yes, there's a very strong resemblance to a FHIR call. We have, and I've chosen these words very carefully, close to fully automated building of the persistence layer. So the classes in Iris are all automated, being built from a CSV file, as are the APIs. So we load a customer's data dictionary as a CSV file. Our back end is built for us pretty close to automatically. There's a little bit of hands-on that we've got to do. As a result, Iris is seen as part of the Microsoft Dataverse, and then we're free to do all our drag and drops and prettiness in the Microsoft front end. It has a full OAuth 2 authentication built in, so we integrate fully with the Active Directory that is in most places, giving us really robust and discrete security controls over the data elements. And it almost goes without saying that comes along with a full Azure integration. So, having built this wonderful integration, does it work? Well, I came to an InterSystems seminar a few years ago, and they mentioned this phrase, eating your own dog food. And that stuck. So, can we build an application using our integration? We were approached by the National Endometriosis Clinical and Scientific Trials, which is based in New South Wales. They are running a register, and our ears pricked up at registers, that's our expertise. They're running a register that collects data on endometriosis and women who are suffering from endometriosis. They've been running for about 5 years, and they're just at the place where they're saying, we need an application, we need a platform that is going to support us into the future. They're expanding. They've just, it's been in the federal budget recently. So government's putting a lot of money into this research in endometriosis. 1 in 10 women suffer from endometriosis. I didn't know that before we started this project. And then on average, this is in Australia, 6.5 to 7 years from the time of symptoms to a diagnosis. There is no disease that is like that you wait 7 years for a diagnosis. It's quite incredible. So we have built the register. Top line, 2 FTEs in the company. It took us 16 weeks to build the application from scratch, not counting our integration, we built that last, but based on that. Now you can extrapolate and work out how much that would cost to build. It has, astounded us with the speed that we can turn these applications around. For example, the client came to us and asked for medications. Now, before you get excited about medications, it's not a full-blown medications module. We're not touching that with a long pole. It was, they're collecting data on patient-reported medications. That we're not doing any dose or anything like that. Just the patient was reporting that they're on paracetamol or whatever hormone drug, how long they've been on it, and any adverse reactions. We turned that screen, essentially it's a screen, around for them and delivered it within 2 days. And first day was presenting a prototype. They loved it. We made a couple of changes, tweaks for them, and delivered it within 2 days. That's not an exaggeration. Microsoft Power Apps, new screen, drag and drop fields in, already connected to the back end, deliver, publish. It is fast. So what is the application? I've decided not to do a demonstration of it because it's got live data in it at the moment, and we just went live last week with it. It is a full CRM functionality. If you've seen an EMR, a register is effectively an EMR. It's got patient management. We can create, we can delete, we can update demographics, we can identify duplicates, we can merge duplicates. We can't unmerge because that's a difficult thing to do. We have full health link integration for automated results reception. So results come in via HL7 and they automatically get matched to the patient record. We've got granular access control through right down to row level in the data. So that Microsoft Active Directory groups and stuff is flying right the way through to the back end iris row levels in the tables. We've got, well, the client requested that we integrate with Jot Forms. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Jot Forms. It's a application on the web that you go and you design your own forms. It's very much drag and drop. It's quite nice. This was their platform of choice for collecting the data from their participants. So when the person joins the program, they enter their details. All they need to do in our application is enter their name, mobile phone number, press save, an email or SMS goes to that person with a link to Jot Forms. They fill in their details, it comes in, we populate all the data in the back end from Jot Forms. You may be familiar with Redcat, similar sort of application. We do have an integration for that as well. Most registers have their own program pathways, they call them. It's like a clinical pathway, except it's longer. Registers act over a longer time rather than your short window of stay in a hospital. So we're talking, in the case of the endometriosis register, it's at least 8 years that they're looking at their program of when do they send out questionnaires, when do they send out reminders. That's called their program pathway. So we've got that as fully customizable. They can choose, they can adjust. We can have multiple programs because they were looking at its clinical and scientific trials. They're wanting to try different programs and pathways and say, well, what if we send out questionnaires more frequently? So they can split their cohort and do trials and see what happens. Clearly, one of the big issues in any register is retention of participants. So anything that they can do, it's expensive, it's difficult to get a person on the register, so you want to maintain. It's a bit like a sales cycle, I suppose, but you want to keep people on, and being able to experiment and try things with different pathways is important to them. We have, so that builds tasks is a fully automated task thing, but we also have manual tasks that you can throw into the application as well. The big selling point for them is that we are able to do reporting. I liked the talk on where InterSystems is going with their data analysis and stuff, but at the moment we're pushing them to Microsoft Power BI. We would like to switch them off that, but they've never done anything like that before. They've worked with CSV files and Excel spreadsheets to see dashboards and see the numbers of participants going up in real time. It's quite exciting for them. So we've built that out for them. That's me, and we are Cribrum. Thank you.